Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's Dennis from Simplify Investing. Today I want to talk about Stimulus 2.0. This is probably the biggest catalyst in the stock market right now. It's causing a lot of volatility, and it's a big concern for a lot of investors. So if you're new here, please hit that like button. It really helps with the YouTube channel. And also subscribe if you're interested in more videos like this. And let's get started. So if you're anything like me, you've been paying close attention to this negotiation between the Democrats and the Republicans, right? Both Pelosi, which is the Speaker of the U.S. House, is going back and forth with Mnuchin about how much money they want to distribute in this second stimulus package. Now, there's a lot of different issues in this package, like the Republicans in the Senate actually passing this bill. We'll get into that later on in this video. But as you can see here, Trump signs off on a $1.8 trillion counteroffer to Pelosi. If you've been following this for quite some time, the Senate and the Republicans didn't want to pass such a large bill. They wanted to focus on $1.6 trillion. The House, which is Pelosi, she wanted a $2.2 to $2.4 trillion package. So you can see there's a little bit of a difference here. And I want to get into what's going on today. Now, as you can see here, I pulled up Twitter. Twitter's probably been the best news source I've been able to see. The fastest, quickest news you can possibly get right now is out of Twitter, unfortunately. If you're on Twitter, you'll beat the news by definitely a few minutes. So as you can see here, this Twitter account, I highly recommend Walter Bloomberg at Delta One. I highly recommend this account, and also Breaking Markets. Those two are my favorite. But right here, I want to talk about Walter Bloomberg's actual tweet. Mnuchin, White House Chief of Staff Meadows, call for immediate passage of coronavirus relief bill using leftover funds from Paycheck Protection Program, also known as PPP. Now, if you're unfamiliar with PPP, it was something passed in the first round of stimulus, which helped businesses not lay off their employees, right? So the government was giving out these loans that were forgivable in order for these companies not to let go of their employees, which obviously helps not make the situation worse in the economy, right? It's not prolonging the damage. And as you can see here, this right here has ended in August, early August. I believe it was the 7th of August, and there was $138 billion left over. So as you can see back to this tweet, they want to use that in order to help boost the stimulus package, either from 1.8 to maybe a little bit closer to 1.9 to $2 trillion. Now, there are reports that Nancy Pelosi does not want to budge at $2 trillion. She says $2 trillion is the minimum she wants. She's been pretty hard on 2.2, but as you can see here, Pelosi has been unwilling to go below $2 trillion in negotiations up to this point. Put people familiar with this matter. So that's pretty good news, right? But I mean, I want you all to take this with a grain of salt. A lot of news has been coming out in the past 2 weeks about stimulus, and nothing has happened. So it's also really important to not necessarily be too firm on this information, right? Now, if you're anything like me, you might be asking yourself, what is delaying this package so much time, right? And this is pretty much what I found. It's what they're fighting back and forth on, and it's really upsetting. So Pelosi, again, I want to make this apolitical. I'm not taking sides, but I'm just stating facts, right? So Pelosi has said repeatedly that the actual legislative language and where that language directs the funds has become the most critical aspect of any agreement, pushing particularly for funding for states and localities that have significant budget shortfalls, a key sticking point for the Trump administration. So if you haven't been keeping up with these talks, Trump and the Republicans don't want to give too much money to the states. And the reason behind that is because most of these states with high deficits of their budget are Democratic states. And Trump and the Republicans are accusing these states of almost receiving a bailout by the government because they've been poorly managed and they had a huge deficit prior to COVID. So they're just using this as almost an excuse in order to get some money to be bailed out. I'm not taking sides. I'm not, saying my opinion. This is just what the Republicans and the Democrats want, right? So I think that's really important to keep in mind. And this two facts, again, this is the actual language of the bill, one, and two, the differences in how much they want to give states and localities in the stimulus package is what's really holding up the whole bill. Now, another thing that I came across on Twitter that's a little bit worrisome, again, this is breaking market news, so it's not 100% certain. And also, this is pretty... this is something you have to take with a grain of salt as well. So it says Mnuchin may still increase stimulus offer, but 10 to 12 GOP senators currently support the current bill of $1.8 trillion. So just because they do end up, let's say, meeting Nancy Pelosi at $2 trillion or even $2.2 trillion, it doesn't even mean that it's going to pass the Senate. Just because a lot of GOP members, senators, don't want to pass the stimulus bill as large as they want it to be, right? And obviously, this bill is going to include a lot of PPP. It's going to include stimulus checks for everyone, $1,200. It's also going to help with UI, which is unemployment insurance. So there's a lot of good stuff that's in this package that's being held back by plain politics. Now, I would love to hear about your opinions on this whole situation in the comments down below. I would also love to respond to you. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It really helps with the growth of the YouTube channel and with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're enjoying this video and you want more videos like this, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.